The mystery machine drives through the Hollywood hills. On our hunt for the magical mystery of movie making, we come upon a lone exterminator. What creeps and crawls lurk in the crevices of parts unknown? Welcome to Mysteries in the Machine.
Hey yo, meddling kids! I'm Charlie,
And I'm Ethan.
and the back of the mystery machine has opened up. Who could be joining us today? It's someone who's super scary. What?
Hello, it's me, your guest star for the episode. My name is Josh from the Super Scary Podcast, as Charlie so kindly alluded to. How are you guys?
We're doing pretty good.
We are doing pretty good. This is the first episode of season 2. No, sorry. This is the 5th episode of season 2. What am I doing?
I don't know what you're doing.
You get lost
What
in
are
the
any of us
sauce
doing?
after a while whenever you're recording, you know?
There's so much happening right now. We released our mid-season break a couple weeks ago, so I'm still we're
coming back. No, we're not coming back. We're technically on break, as of recording.
As of recording, yes. We don't come back till next week, so
we just record ahead of time because it's easier.
Yes.
So it has been almost a year since you have been with us, Josh.
It has.
Y'all have covered a lot of ground since I've been last on. I was like, oh, y'all are on the new Scooby-Doo movies? Damn.
Yeah, yep. This is the second series of Scooby-Doo, and we're almost done with it.
Yeah, which is nuts.
It is nuts. It's fine. We have so many more shows left to cover. Don't you worry about that.
Yes, we do. We're going to be in the new Scooby-Doo show. We're going to be a Scooby-Doo show for a while.
Because that has 3 seasons, and they're all or 2 of them are pretty long. So it's going to be a minute.
The big question is, are you going to cover the seasons that have Scrappy-Doo in it? Because
yes, we will, actually.
That's our goal. If
the good, the bad, the sometimes cringe, it's great.
I mean, from what I've heard, it starts off okay, the middle of it is not great, and then the end of it is better.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true.
I've never seen that show, so I have no idea what I am in for.
Well,
there won't be mysteries for some of it. That's what
Why?
I know. I don't know, because they kind of just stopped.
All right.
They were like, this is just shenanigans, I guess. There's no plot. There's just being
no
lost
plot,
in the
only
sauce.
Shenanigans.
I recently, sorry, this is it's kind of on topic, but not. I recently went on a trip and we had some time in the hotel room, so I put it on Cartoon Network, and they were playing a Scooby-Doo movie with Vincent Price, and it was a more recent film.
13th Ghost?
Yes, I believe so, yeah. But it was actually very good, and they made a passing reference about Scrappy, because I think one of the characters had encountered Scrappy before, and they were like, who is that?
So fun fact about that movie that you're talking about, it's Scooby-Doo Curse of the 13th Ghost. It's supposed to be the sequel, the wrapping up of the 80s cartoon The 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, which was a Scrappy show.
Ah, okay.
It's also
So
Makes
they were
one
sense
just
why they make
like,
Charlie.
reference.
It's a show Charlie enjoys a lot.
yeah,
I
it's one
have
of my favorites.
I have yet to watch it. I have no idea all I know is that Vincent Price is in it. And
Yeah,
his name is Vincent
and
Van Gogh. That's all I know.
Yes.
yeah, and the sequel movie, it's not actually Vincent Price. It's because he had already passed away at that point, but they've had somebody do the voice of Vincent Van Gogh who does a very good impression for
Yes.
the more recent media. And God, I really wish they could like keep doing that. Honestly, Vincent Van Gogh is such a very good character. I love
Yeah.
him.
Bring back Vincent Van Gogh. Bring back the Hex Girls. I mean,
It has been, well, technically they did
They
recently,
were.
just not in the way that I would like.
Did you see the
from
Scooby
the
Doo and Guess Who episode?
I
No, no,
haven't.
no. I'm referring to the
Oh, the
show that shall
Velma.
not be named.
No, we don't talk. We don't talk about that show. That show does not exist, according to me.
If you're talking about Scooby Doo and Guess Who, that is perfectly fine. That was.
I didn't like their Guess Who episode. I'm not gonna lie. So,
Oh well.
but you know, they were great in the What's New era. So that's all that matters to me.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Josh, have you watched this Scooby Doo show before? Do you have any history with this one? The new Scooby Doo movies?
I do. Well, I think I mentioned the last time I was on the pod, my family and I were very much Scooby Doo enthusiasts when I was growing up. We had a routine that we would watch. There was like an hour long block or hour or two block around dinner time after school that we would watch Scooby Doo, and then we'd watch The Wheel of Fortune after. So it's great, riveting television for us. And I still watch both on occasion, but at any rate, when they would play these, we'd always like to guess as to who the celebrity was, because I'm actually somewhat familiar with like Sandy Duncan and Don Knotts and Tim Conway, Jonathan Winters, all of those actors, because my grandma and mom would watch TV shows with them in it. So we were very, very much aware of those. I think they had like Adam's Family on one.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, and then I think I want to say Sonny and Cher was on it too. I can't remember.
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
My memory is serving me well then. But yeah, we loved watching these. This one I don't remember seeing before, so it's kind of nice to watch to complete my memory of this show.
Yeah, I mean, so I actually like grew up having a like disc set of about half of these episodes
Ooh.
on it, and this was one of the ones that I grew up with. Some of the ones I didn't know about until, you know, researching for this show was like Adam's Family, Sandy Duncan, like Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah.
And such. So there's about like half of them that we watched for this, and I was like, what? This is wild.
Right. Harlem Globetrotters was another one that they would always throw in an episode.
There were
like,
I mean, there's three of them.
Yeah.
So they had the most guest star episodes, and they were the only ones to appear in both seasons of the show.
Oh.
So, yeah.
I think they had like multiple movies and stuff after that, like in the 90s or something, I want to say.
Yeah. They had their own Hanna-Barbera show. So.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of guest stars, Mr. Don Adams joins us today. Charlie, what do we know about this man?
Well, he is an American actor. Did you know that?
I figured.
Born Donald James Yarmy, known freshly as Don Adams. So, let's see. I don't know if I have seen him in anything besides this, but I know my mother has talked about the original Get Smart a lot, and he is the original Maxwell Smart. I don't know if you saw the remake.
I saw the remake with Steve Carell. That's the only version of that I know.
Which is kind of good casting, because if you look at a picture of Don Adams and a picture of Steve Carell, especially in his Office era, like they are very similar looking.
Very similar looking people. Though I know him from one thing other than this, and it is the 1999 Inspector Gadget live-action movie with Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, apparently he was typecast as like Inspector Gadget after
I mean, he
like
was
Get
Inspector
Smart.
Gadget
So,
he was Inspector Gadget for the whole run of the original show.
Yeah.
but like,
So
because like spy things and like comedy stuff, he just
yeah,
kind of got typecast in that kind of role after Get Smart.
yes.
So, that's why that's his like most famous thing that he was ever in.
Yep, he is either Inspector Gadget or Maxwell Smart. He is a spy, apparently.
Or he's in The Love Boat, apparently. He's in just a lot of that.
Well, I think at the time that this episode that we're about to talk about came out, it was either right during the Get Smart popularity or like right after. It was kind of in between.
Yeah, it's like
It was right
3 years
after.
after.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he eventually, like kept coming back as Get Smart. So, it never stopped.
Nope.
But yeah, that's what I know him from. Mostly just this episode. So, he's a fun dude.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all want to talk about this one? Y'all want to talk
Let's
about
do it.
Let's do it.
in, I guess, Hollywood, just looking at all of the rich people houses. Do we want a rich people house? I mean,
I would only want a rich people house if there were like multiple families living there at the same time. I want that for just one family.
I would want to live there with like all of my close friends.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
that's the secret. Is I would be like, we're going to share this. We're each going to get a wing, and there have to be secret passageways. Because if there's not secret passageways, what are we even doing with our trillions of dollars?
Right.
It's like, where's the whimsy? Where's the fun? If there's no secret passageways.
If you're gonna be a rich person, do it right.
Yeah.
Correct.
I don't think the rich people nowadays are doing it right. That's just my take. So
they want to go to space or ruin the U.S. government. So
they don't secret libraries, which is the correct answer.
Well, in this particular case, I'm curious how they knew whose house was who. Like, did they have a book? Did they?
I think they had a map.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Velma has a map. I guess they're just doing a self-guided tour of like celebrity houses or something today. And then Scooby's just like, "Ooh, I wanna be famous. I wanna be discovered." And most people are discovered working at a gas station. So what does Scooby do? Jumps out of the car, goes to the like gas station right behind them, and starts working.
Which reminds me of the Jonathan Winters episode, because that's how we found him for the first time.
Yes, I love that one so much. But he was only doing that to, like, trick people and be funny.
Yeah, but I still think that's one of my top 3 for this season.
Oh,
is
yes.
a Jonathan Winters episode, for sure.
Absolutely. And Shaggy's just like, but you have to have talent to get discovered, Scooby. You can't just work at a gas station. Scooby's like, doing a little dance, because he's Scooby-Doo, guys. He has talent.
He's
How
also
can he not get discovered?
He's a talking dog. Like, that alone like should get him discovered.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm surprised nobody's tried to like market him as like the world's only talking dog.
Because we don't draw attention to the fact that he's the world's only talking dog in any of the shows. It's just like, don't worry about it. It's not important to the plot.
Yeah, it's some real House of Spirit magical realism bullshit is what's going on here.
Yes.
I have ideas on how I would do it. If I were making a live action Scooby-Doo, I'd be like, no, Scooby's just like possessed or something, and that's why he can talk. Like,
we make it gritty, like it's the ghost of Shaggy's best friend that possessed his dog.
Oh,
yes,
my
there
God.
you go. There you go.
There we go. I mean, they really need to make like a darker like Scooby-Doo live action. Like
I would love like a CW style.
I want the Riverdale Scooby-Doo, because
yes,
it's allowed to be goofy as hell.
Yeah, like Riverdale meets Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's kind of what we're going for.
Yes,
That's what
yes.
That's what we need. It can be gritty, it can be dark, but it's also goofy as hell and how it does all that because it's the CW.
I just want like a touch of like early 2000s Charmed, like first 3 seasons, you know, like the magic of that. It would just be so good.
Yes, this is correct. This is what I want in life. Live action Scooby-Doo. So, yes, Scooby does not end up getting discovered. Instead, he annoys this poor man who was trying to get gas at the gas station. So he's upset.
He also yells something as the driver goes away, and it sounds like in his Scooby voice, it sounds like he says racist. but the subtitle said license, so I don't know which one it is.
I used to think he was saying patience. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
I wasn't sure what he said.
Yeah.
But I'm going with the subtitle in that he wants their license because they, drove off super fast.
I really don't think he actually said the word racist, but giving how
he also can't pronounce the letter L very well.
Correct.
So
but it would be really funny if he did say that. To me.
Being racist to a dog.
Yeah, racist.
How dare you?
Oh my goodness. Scooby gets a bone because, he's sad
He's a
about not
dog.
being discovered.
He's a good boy.
And this is when we see this is a trope for this series because how many times do we see one of these celebrities on the side of the road having car troubles?
It's so many. And not only that, this is the either second or third time that a celebrity is not like an actor or a comedian or whoever. They do a different job.
Yes.
Like Don Knotts was a cop, and like Laurel and Hardy were bellhops, and now we have Don Adams as an exterminator.
Yeah, he's head of the Adams Exterminator company, of course.
Yeah, you have to have a side gig. I mean,
he hadn't. This was post Get Smart, but pre-Inspector Gadget, so he didn't have a whole lot going on.
Well, according to his career path after Get Smart before Inspector Gadget, he had multiple failed projects, so I can only imagine.
It does appear to be that way.
So,
I guess so. He apparently has termites in his motor, so
does he have a wooden car?
That was what I was thinking. Is like, how does that happen unless there's wood in your car?
This man has just bug issues, like all over the place. This is
Correct.
The most I've learned about bugs in a media, I feel like.
It's stretching the truth, because like termites eat wood, they don't eat wires or metal.
Unless you have wooden wires.
I guess.
There must be some kind of wood in his car or something. Oh, no, what he says is, I ran a termite out of town, and his brother swore to get even.
Oh my god.
That's the...
Yes, termites. The insects whose brain is like the size of the head of a pin know what revenge feels like.
Correct. Again, this man is like the Exterminator, hence the episode title. Like that's his entire personality, apparently.
And apparently he does it for other, like specifically other actors' homes. Like he will not go into your average person's home from the sounds of it.
Because he's just the best. He's just the best at what he does, so he deserves to be paid by the super rich people, clearly.
Yes. This is
when we just get to a random thing about soldier ants.
This is where our first shenanigan happens.
Correct. Wait. Is Scooby not do we already miss a shenanigan? Because I feel like Scooby just running to the gas station might have been a shenanigan, actually.
Okay, we can count that. I'll put 2 down for that for now.
I'll allow it.
Oh yeah, Josh, I don't know if you've been keeping up, but this season we started doing a shenanigan counter.
Ooh, love that.
So anytime something like super cartoonish happens, we write it down as a shenanigan.
Perfect.
Yeah, so Scooby is he puts on a little helmet and he's got his binocular hands and he's about to attack some soldier ants.
Which are dressed like actual soldiers.
Yeah, it's because he heard soldiers are called dog faces. So he's going to engage the enemy, or as Fred says, enrage the enemy.
I mean, both did happen.
Yes.
Yes. This episode has so many just like zingers that I just can't stop. It's when I was rewatching it, I'm like, oh my god, I love this thing. So good.
There were like
And
a couple jokes about like I can't remember a specific one, but like they would make comments about like soldiers or whatever, and I'm like, I feel like some of this might be like going over my head because it might be like a topical thing depending on what was happening.
This was at the very
globally.
end of Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
Is when this was coming out.
Okay. So that could be why some of this is going over my head about because I feel like it's a pseudo commentary of the time, but I could be wrong.
I
don't
do
know.
not know. I just know that Scooby is, kind of hit back by the ants. Does not go very well. And Velma's like, maybe you should fight someone weaker, like soldier uncles.
It's like,
And
oh,
Daphne
Velma.
loves it. So I love it so much. Velma's great.
That's beautiful.
All right, so they have officially said, Dawn, we're just gonna give you a ride to this place, okay? We're gonna help you out today. So he's in the van with them, and he's spraying everybody because he's like, wait, I think there's a flea on Scooby. Nope, wait, maybe it's on Shaggy. Dude, stop spraying the people in the face.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. So, slightly related tangent incoming. I had flies in my sink last month for like 3 weeks.
Oh.
Okay.
It got to the point where I had to use... So, right next to my kitchen is a half bathroom. And it got to the point where I had to spray Raid in that bathroom. There were so many flies in there.
Oh, no.
And what came to mind is like, he's essentially spraying Raid on these people.
Yeah, like you don't want that like in your eyes, in your mouth,
like the instructions on the can say like to close off whatever room you put it in, wait, and then fumigate it somehow. Like,
yeah, that's not good for your body. I don't think.
Luckily, it's in the bathroom, so I can just turn the fan on. But
yeah.
Well, they also didn't wear any protective gear until
not until much later.
So
it's almost too late now.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like they end up just spraying so many things and don't worry about that until later in the episode. All right, but we are coming to the movie star's house, and who could it possibly be? It is the horror film star's house, Lorne Chumley.
Gasp! And it's scary. What an idea.
Okay, Josh, do you think that this character is based on anybody who was actually alive for that era that you know of?
Yeah, it's supposedly based off of Lon Chaney. And he was actually a silent horror movie actor, and he was well known for his makeup artistry, as well as starring in, a couple prominent silent horror films. The main one being the Phantom of the Opera, like the OG movie.
Okay.
I think he was also in Hunchback of Notre Dame as well.
Didn't he also play Dracula and the Wolfman? Or am I wrong?
You're thinking of Bela Lugosi.
Okay.
But Lon Chaney had a nickname because of his makeup abilities that he was called the Man with 1,000 Faces, or the Man of 1,000 Faces. Yeah.
Which is what they keep calling Lorne Chumley in this episode. So
yeah.
It's very good. It's a good reference.
Around this time, though, his son, Lon Chaney Jr., was actually in some horror films as well. So I think it's a little bit a mix of the two, but I think it's mainly Lon Chaney because they really talk about him being in some silent films of that time.
I had a feeling they were making reference to somebody, but I don't have the background in that. So
yeah. It's kind of cool because I didn't really know too much about Lon Chaney. Like I'm sure I've seen things with him in it throughout my time of, exploring horror films on the podcast, but for this episode specifically, I was like, "Oh, this is who that guy is." So,
Yeah, very cool. So they have come to this man's creepy house, and Dawn is like, "Hey, you guys want to help me out? Like, cause all my assistants quit, and it's because they didn't want to go to this creepy house." And Fred and Velma are like definitely for it. Daphne's on the fence, and Shaggy and Scooby are like, "Nope, a fourth and a fifth assistant has just quit. We don't want to do this."
I love that throughout the episode, it's kind of a theme that like Daphne's like, "You know what? Shaggy and Scooby have a point this time." Like, I can't
Yeah.
argue.
She's just not a horror movie fan. And Velma's like such a horror movie fan, as we find out in this
Yeah.
episode. I love it. I'm
Canon horror movie
obsessed.
fan. I was not expecting that out of Velma.
I could see it actually, just based on her love for like solving mysteries.
That's true. That's true. I feel like now though she'd be like more of a true crime,
Oh, Velma's 100% a true crime girly.
100% a true
Yes.
crime. Like fall asleep to it in her
Like
headphones.
she falls asleep to Serial. That's how she goes to sleep.
Yes, yes.
Or My
Oh
Favorite
my
Murder, or
goodness.
whichever you want to pick. There are hundreds, if not thousands.
Yes.
Yeah, as they're coming up to this place, Velma's just like, "Ooh, they designed this place to look just like one of Lorne Chumley's horror films. And let me tell you the entire plot of it." And Daphne's just like, "Please stop. Please stop. I don't want to hear it. If the movie was silent, then why can't you be, Velma?"
The writers were in their bag with these one-liners for this
Yes.
episode specifically for no goddamn reason.
Oh, this is why I love it.
Also, apparently, the film she was talking about won a bunch of Oscars, which would not have happened in the
gonna
real
say,
world.
don't the Oscars typically snub a lot of horror-related stuff?
Yeah, for like makeup stuff, I feel like they're a little more lenient on it. Otherwise, well,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with like Demi Moore and The Substance this year,
Yes.
because that's been a big talk of the town. I think she won what is it? I think the Screen Guild Actors Award. So, and they actually, I think they nominated it for Best Picture and
They did.
Best Actress for Demi Moore. So we'll see what happens. But typically, the Oscars are like, fuck horror movies. So I was surprised that they were even like willing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe whoever wrote this just doesn't understand. Doesn't know that much about it.
Or they were like, let's live in an alternate reality where horror movies are appreciated by the Oscars.
Yeah, true. And right off the bat, Dawn is just like, just look at those stairs. There must be a million, like, termites again, I think.
There's like one singular crack in the stairs. Like, it's...
Look, the man's an exterminator. He's going to have beef with termites and other insects.
And I think this is another shenanigan where he's just like... he's going after it with a bug bomb, and he's just like... He hands Fred this letter. He's like, "If I'm not back in 5 minutes, give this letter to my mother." And he just like goes, "Ah!" And it blows up.
My dude, you can throw it. It's not that hard.
Yeah, he's not doing well.
Also, sir, you've been spraying Raid in people's faces. Take it. Just,
He's immune to it at this point. He's probably like... I feel like he would be the type of person that locks himself in a room and is like, okay, as part of my training, crazy thought, we're gonna gas me with this bug bomb.
Just going to unleash an entire can of Raid into this room so my lungs develop an immunity to it.
Yikes.
He's one of those people who just like drinks a little bit of poison every day to gain up the immunity. kind of shit.
Yes, real Wesley
Very
Princess
much.
Bride type of shit right here.
He
Very
eats some rat
much.
poison every day.
Okay, here's the thing. I don't remember how I found this out, but the reason rat poison works on rats is because rats can't throw up. If a human ate rat poison, they would throw up.
Oh, that makes sense, I guess.
Fun fact.
I mean, there you go. I think what was it that I was watching recently? I think it was Only Murders in the Building, where like one of the people that was supposed to be killed ingested rat poison, and like yeah, he did not throw up. Everybody just thought he died
Huh.
for a hot minute, but then went to the hospital, pumped his stomach, and he was fine.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Shaggy and Scooby do not want to go into this house. We have shenaniganery. They're going up a tree to avoid going inside, and they are met with a vulture, I think?
Yeah,
I
very
think.
comically looking
It's a
vulture.
very fucked up looking bird, whatever
Yeah.
it is.
All that matters to me is that this bird is living in a house that looks just like the house they're going up to.
Yes.
Like, you made a mansion for this, like, fucked up bird at the tree.
Maybe it's a pet. Who knows?
Oh, I assume it is. I assume that this is Lauren Chumley's favorite pet.
Probably.
He's just that
As a
kind of
horror
guy.
icon, I would expect nothing less.
Yes.
Yeah. There's also a bunch of bats that attack them. There's just so many things going on here.
And then we get, Charlie, the butler has the creepy face.
The butler has the creepy face. You know what? We have seen this exact character model before, and I believe it was in the original Redbeard's Ghost episode. I think
Yes,
he was
it
the
was.
same butler for that guy.
Except he was not
So-
bald.
No, I don't think he was. But they love to use a character model, and they love a creepy face. We got it. So Don tries to give him his calling card. There's an invisible man holding a tray out for the calling card. Shaggy is terrified of it. He does not want to go in this house. Too bad. You're being forced to go in this house because everybody else is making you. His boyfriend Fred is making him go in the house. So
That is our headcanon, Josh.
Listen, I've
dating.
seen enough fan art to back up your theory. So
it's my new favorite ship. Is just like, people don't think that they're together, but I think they're together. I think it's Fred and Shaggy and Velma and Daphne, and it's probably also Polly. So
Who knows?
I think maybe it's also Daphne and Shaggy because they hung out a bit.
That's interesting.
Listen, in the 80s, it was just them and the dogs. So
that is
for
true.
like many years.
That is
Who's
true.
to
Well,
say
in the
they
Mystery
didn't get it
Incorporated
on?
era, it was him and Velma for a little while.
Yeah, but Velma's a lesbian, as we found out in Mystery Incorporated.
True. Velma was just a little bit. I guess she just hadn't figured that out yet. At that
Yeah, that was.
Wasn't
that
she
was the-
down bad? Wasn't she down bad for like hot dog water or something? Was that not that
Yes.
girl's name?
Hot Dog Water, who is Discount Velma, played by live action Velma. If you didn't
Linda
know, she's literally
Cardellini, the
played by
icon you are.
Linda Cardellini.
Yes, I love it.
All
She's
right,
also down bad for some villainous women. But that's
She
more
has a
recent.
type. She has a type. Okay,
Let her be.
mine too. I relate to this type.
I didn't know Abby was a villain in your mind.
Have you not met her?
She's chaotic. I don't think she's evil.
Okay, my girlfriend, when she plays D&D, she is chaotic and she wants to fuck people up so bad.
She does.
So,
Or pretend to be a goddess and fail extremely hard.
she's a changeling. She could try this.
Love it.
It just didn't work. That's the thing. It didn't work.
It's fine. It's okay. Back to Scooby-Doo, where we are finally inside the house, and we're being led around by the butler. The whole group is together for the time being, but then immediately Shaggy and Scooby are like, okay, we're tying our shoes, and we're gonna run the fuck away. We're running. This place is scary as hell. Just
To
by
be
existing.
fair, this butler has been dropping hints and warnings that they should not be here,
Right.
which is usually typical of, this type of character in Scooby-Doo, but he's laying it on extra thick. He's like, you don't want to be in here, but
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna lead you through the house, but you don't want to be here.
Well,
and the
I
door
mean,
closes
the
by
reason
itself.
the reason
Like,
Don's even here is because I guess Lauren had a bunch of debt and the bank was repossessing his house and that needed to be exterminated before they could sell it.
yeah, the bank, as he tells us later, it's paying him 10 cents a bug, which
That could be a lot.
if I had the time and patience, I would go through this episode and figure out how much he was making.
Well,
But I do not.
we know it's at least 60 cents because they
At
mention
least.
it at
Probably
one point.
more.
And I think there's at least two other, I want to say like 2 or 3 other bugs. So he at least made, let's call it $1 even he made in this entire time.
$1
One whole dollar.
He made $1 off of this house. Amazing. Good job, Don.
His royalty checks just don't do what they used to, I guess.
No, they don't. So, Shaggy and Scooby have gone off on their own. Everybody else is like, wait, we need to go find them. And instead, what has found them is a painting that looks just like our swamp rat guy from Ghostly Creep in the Deep.
Yeah, Mr. Swampy Pete himself. It's not him, but it looks a lot like him.
And he's like talking to them, he's being a real creeper, and they're like, oh, fuck no. Goodbye.
It's the discount great value version of Swamp Pete.
Yes.
They don't have a budget for
Marsh
this. We're just gonna
Matthew.
keep using. We're just gonna keep using the same character models.
I almost wish that at this point with Scooby-Doo they were like a little meta about themselves and was like, oh, this looks like this random monster that we fought back in God knows how long ago.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it would be really funny. It'd be great. More jokes. So I don't even know what I want to count as shenanigans because there's so many things that this house does that don't make sense if it's only one guy doing all this.
We can count whatever you want to as shenanigans, Charlie. We are led to believe that this is all Lorne doing this himself. Which, number one, this man is old. There's no way he's getting around that fast.
No, and how much of this is like animatronic?
Unless through the power of cartoon physics, he doesn't have arthritis.
It's very possible.
There's so much happening.
Well, even if the butler was the butler did it as well, I still feel like there's so many aspects happening. I thought they were gonna end up saying like half of it was like a video camera like projection because sometimes they explain that away in some Scooby-Doo episodes, but we did not get any of that.
No.
It's like, I think one of the most
it's just him.
The episode that like really explains away some of that stuff the most was actually our last episode with Tim Conway.
That's true.
But this era just doesn't like to explain shit. It's like, that just happened. Don't worry about it.
I mean, in one of our previous episodes, there was actual magic.
Oh. I didn't think Scooby-Doo dived into that kind of an explanation.
It was
so
their
early.
crossover with I Dream of Jeannie.
Okay, that I can.
Yeah,
that I can allow. I'll allow that.
What are we supposed to do there? It's just like magic exists because we had to have Jeannie in the episode today.
Yes.
So, but we had Swampy Pete, and then they come to some curtains. And Shaggy's gonna look around it, Scooby's gonna look underneath it, and then one of the other paintings, it's a wolfman, just full on grabs Scooby. This is terrifying. He is rightfully terrified and should leave this fucking house. When you go through a haunted house, they're not supposed to touch you.
No.
That's the rule.
Yeah, this is...
Lauren doesn't know that. This was pre-SAG.
Oh my god. Yeah, it is, yeah, if I went through a haunted house, saw something remotely similar to this, and he grabbed me, I would not... I already don't do well in haunted houses. canonically. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't think I would do well. I would just be like, all right, I'm dead. Just roll me out. Throw
Like,
me
goodbye.
wherever.
I
Yeah.
am turning the fuck around and getting out of here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that has happened, and the rest of the gang is still just like, where are they? What's going on? There's something behind this curtain. I wonder what it could be. And moves the curtain, and it's Scooby. He goes all the way down the banister, like down to the. Apparently, they're on the second floor. Yeah, he goes down to the first floor where there's a bunch of paintings, and didn't we just see these paintings? They didn't worry about.
The layout of this house is very confusing, which is normally the case in any Hanna-Barbera production.
This
Yeah.
is true.
They use the same freaking background all the time. However, in this house in particular, I'm like, so we're back at the paintings, which means we're back by the front door, supposedly, which means we could just unlock the front door and leave at any time.
But we don't.
Maybe Scooby and Shaggy are just like, we can't just leave the others. I guess we can't today.
I mean, there is something for safety in numbers.
Yeah.
This is true.
So the butler finally leaves as the gang has all been reunited. He's like, one last warning, goodbye.
He's like, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
I have better shit to do.
Yeah.
And Don is just like, I gave the bank my word. I'm not leaving this place. He does some gremlin-y walks, which I love.
Yes. Yes, he does.
The freaking animation on Don Adams.
I love when they give I love when they give celebrities the gremlin walks.
Because it's so good. Some of the time they treat them with almost too much respect that they will not make them cartoonish enough for the medium.
Jerry Reed.
Jerry Reed. We hated that episode.
Oh no.
We did. Admittedly,
but
we didn't like it because he was not cartoony enough for us.
No, he was not. He was just standing there like a dude in the corner.
We also didn't see him for half the episode, so...
When the door opens and you are standing right there, there should be something cartoonish, like become flat against the wall or something. No, he's just like, hey guys, are you in a cartoon? Are you not?
Make up your mind, Jerry, come on.
He probably had something contractual being like,
I would assume
hey,
so.
Don't do this to me.
Then
why agree to it? It's like...
It has one of our lowest shenanigan counts. I think it's the second lowest or third lowest.
But it's definitely our lowest rated episode.
It is.
Because it was just bad.
Yeah, because it's low, even compared to the Addams Family episode, which none of us really liked at all.
Oh no.
We didn't like it because there wasn't enough Addams Family in it.
Oh, okay.
It was just it was the gang going through the house, and that was most of the episode. We didn't spend time with them as much as we really should have. So it was just sad.
I have something so unhinged to say about the animation of Don Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And feel free to cut this out if you don't want this in here, but this man was animated to have the craziest arch when he's on all fours. It is
okay. You're so right, though.
There are sometimes I was like,
right.
I was like,
the man
why?
Is
double cheeked up, full arched, ready to go, and I'm like, this. There is no need for this.
Somebody call Sabrina Carpenter. This is some Juno bullshit.
Have you ever tried this one?
Exactly!
I'm like, what in the world? Anyway, that's my unhinged thought.
Don Adams gets pegged, confirmed.
They're learning how to animate people and make them look realistic. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. What model they used for that one?
I don't fucking know.
They dusted off their pencils and made a new model.
Maybe they were just watching too much porn that week. I don't know.
Probably be reading if it's the 70s.
That's fair.
Well,
That's fair.
yeah. Well, I think some of the first video porn was in the 70s.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way.
I don't know. They were smoking something while they were making these shows for sure.
I did look up if he did make one whole dollar in 1970. What would that be worth today? And it is worth about $8.13. So, was it worth it?
No.
I mean, I don't know. He was in, the what's it called? Downward Dog. He got a good stretch. He destroyed about 10 bugs and
somebody destroyed his watch. Bro.
Yeah, a bust of Napoleon destroyed his watch.
Yeah, somebody turns out the lights and that's what happens next. And it's like, why?
And it was a
What was the
full-on
point of that?
hammer that he used.
No.
It's like, what in the world?
And he does question if it was bugs, as usual.
Yeah. I like that
It's so
I don't know
funny.
if this is a shenanigan or not, Charlie, but there's a little cash register attached to his belt.
Yes. Oh, I think that's a shenanigan, because he sprays the wall, and then he's just like, cool, I made 10 more cents. Like, he's the one who's counting them every time. It's great.
Yep. Which, if that's the case for all of his clients, how meticulous does this man have to be to count every single bug he kills?
Yeah.
I mean,
because
do you see him in this episode?
Some exterminators are hourly, some are paid a flat rate. There's some are paid by square footage of the house. I used to design websites for pest control companies, so
you're
depends.
An expert.
Not necessarily.
You know what you're doing.
I know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm doing.
None of us do, actually. So we have officially agreed to split up. Finally, the smart gang goes off together. Don stays with Shaggy and Scooby, but he's gonna go in a different room from them. And yeah, they're in they're just chilling in this one scary room that keeps having this scary picture of a witch.
Yeah.
And Shaggy, I must spray this suit of armor because, you've heard of, the iron butterfly. What if there's iron moths? Right?
Charlie, I know you don't know this, but Iron Moth is a Pokemon.
Well, I assume that Pokemon wasn't made till much later.
No, this particular Pokemon came out in 2022.
Okay, so someone who designs Pokemon watched this episode,
I guess,
and decided to make a reference.
Listen, Pokemon designs have been they have been very clearly running out of ideas for the last 5 years. So I wouldn't put it past them to pull an idea from another movie.
Yeah, exactly. Also, it's unclear if there's somebody in this suit of armor. It sneezes, and then it, jumps backward and runs away, but we never see a person, so shenaniganery, for sure.
Yes.
It also gets, attached to Shaggy's finger for a second.
Yep.
He gets a little too handsy with it.
Oh boy.
And once again, we have come to a player piano.
Player
How many
organ.
times is this? Player organ. It's the same type of thing, Ethan.
They make different noises.
How many times has that been a thing in this series alone? Player
At least
pianos?
3.
At least 3! They have only so many gimmicks that they can do at a time.
The pool is very shallow.
Yeah. So Shaggy and Scooby run away again. They've come to the paintings once again. They're everywhere in this house. It's the same, 5 paintings. And, oh, look, Don's here. Don's, just chilling. And, the Frankenstein painting has covered Scooby's mouth. His arms just come out. He covers Scooby's mouth. And I think he looks like he's Mr. Hyde from a previous
That's what
episode.
I thought. I thought it was Mr. Hyde.
I think it is, yeah.
He grabs Shaggy's tank so he can outspray for bugs. And Shaggy's
just
like,
kind of
oh.
Schlorps it into his midsection?
Yeah.
Which, again,
I don't know.
is not explained.
Give it, Scoob. Give it to me. It's like, oh shit. Nope. Fuck no. So he runs away. Scooby runs away. We're having a not good time here today.
Meanwhile, Don Adams is on all fours, I'm pretty sure, in this scene with the crazy Arch being like, oh, what's happening? I don't see anything.
Nope.
I hope a big monster doesn't come after me.
He doesn't notice shit. Shaggy and Scooby have jumped into an umbrella stand, and when Don finally stands up to be like, where'd they go? What's happening? And a panel opens up in the wall, gobbles him up, and a panel opens up in the floor and gobbles up his tank. So Shaggy and Scooby are once again alone, and they have no clue what the heck's going on. Neither do
one
we.
Shenanigan or two?
I think that's two.
I would mark that as two.
I marked it as two.
Like, what the fuck is happening here? This is the House of Horrors of any episode.
House of Horrors or House of Whores? Because Don Adams is giving.
Listen, I know his body is ready, Josh, but there are children in that house.
True.
We get our next shenanigan when Shaggy and Scooby decide to pop out of the umbrella stand, somehow putting an umbrella over both of them simultaneously.
They opened it inside. That's
walking
unlucky.
Away.
That's unlucky, guys. No wonder shit happens to them. And they're like, let's try to open a door, see what's going on. Wonder where Dawn is. And okay, they get out of the umbrella, and Shaggy's like, okay, let's figure out which way we want to go, because there's so many directions. We do another flipping of a coin. That's like the third time Shaggy's done that again this season alone.
But it gets taken by this beaked monster that puts it in a piggy bank with its own face as the pig part.
The most shenanigan I've ever seen.
I know.
Hey, I'm assuming that was a quarter, so that's a lot of money.
I was gonna say.
That's about half of our earnings.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we go back to Otto the butler, who is chatting with, our discount, Swampy Pete's, and he's like, oh, the kids are coming this way. Ooh, we gotta fuck with them right now, okay? Make sure they leave this house. And it is the smart gang who's like, which room should we start in?
And now finally they put on fucking protection, which they should have been doing from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because they're dealing with very harsh chemicals.
The butler and the painting also disappear when there's a button pressed, so the entire wall just goes zoop. We get revolving wall. We did it.
Your favorite.
And there's a different painting on the other side of the wall.
Also, the painting, I think, is just a bunch of flowers or like a pond or something, which is totally clashes
with
not
everything.
The vibe.
Yeah.
So as they're putting on these outfits, there's like a mask, I want to say, that's on the wall that like gains eyes and starts laughing. Wahahaha. Terrifying?
Not terrifying at all.
Yeah. So they're gonna start debugging, and it's like, well, this will only take a minute. There's like 4 of us. It'll be great. Wait, 4? Wait, huh? Who is that? Is it Mr. Adams? Is it Shaggy? It's okay. It's making weird ooh sounds. Is it Scooby? Do you want a Scooby snack? Nope. That's just some random person.
We don't know
what's going on there, guys.
But they go behind the curtain, Fred lifts it up, and they're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, based on these random panels that suck up, like the one that Don Adams gets sucked up into at one point, I don't doubt that there was one there. But
yeah.
I love that Charlie keeps saying the smart gang. I'm like, are they really smart in
Oh,
this
we
situation.
we've split
I
them
get,
up.
yeah,
So when we're talking about Fred, Daphne, and Velma, that's the smart gang. Shaggy and Scooby's the scared gang. But like, yeah, I mean, they're not always super smart.
yeah. In this instance,
No.
not very much. Also, they all go to the same spot in the same room, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna get this done so quickly." Like, you are all spraying on the same wall,
At least
same
take a
spot
different
on the
wall.
wall. Yeah,
Like,
Yeah. If you're gonna be in the same room, do it in different places.
yeah.
yeah. So Daphne's like, "This room is yours at 10 cents a bug. Other exterminator, bye." And they run the fuck away. So Shag and Scoob have no idea where they are. They have no tank. And there's weird noises in this place. And Scooby's like, "Oh, does it sound like this?" He howls. Shaggy's like, "Yes, it did. Don't howl at me. I'm scared enough as it is." And okay, we have this whole thing where it's like, Scooby, why don't you go first? No, Shaggy, why don't you go first? And okay, odd or even. We're gonna figure out how many fingers we're going to put out, and whichever we get decides who's gonna go first. They both put out 2 fingers, and then a random hand shows up out of the wall. It's like, okay.
If this were not a cartoon, this would be terrifying.
Yeah. I would not be so relaxed when I say, "Oh, it's even. I guess I'm leaving."
Shaggy's just like, "Doesn't matter. I'm going first. I want to get the fuck out of here." So someone is coming towards them, and they're like, "Oh no, what do we do? What can we do?" They climb onto a chandelier.
Shenanigans.
And it's Dawn. It's okay, guys. And he's like, where's your tank? Wait, where's my tank? How are we supposed to do this without any tanks, guys? I mean, he's got his 2 sprayed bottles on his belt, but
That's not enough.
no, it's
Yeah,
not.
I was gonna say, which begs the question: what has he been doing in the last 10 or so minutes?
Probably looking for the tank, if I had to guess.
Well, he had like a attitude of like, "Oh, I forgot I had a tank," whenever I asked Shaggy where his tank was. So I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So we get more shenanigans when Don tries to open this door.
Yeah, he's just like, let's open up this door. And it's not opening. But you know what? I'm a martial artist, okay? I can do this. He kicks it with his whole body. Like he's become parallel with the floor in midair and does not open. He's like, "Would you believe in a truce?" The door opens.
Shenanigans.
And it's an indoor swimming pool. I wonder how many bugs there are here. You know? Aquatic bugs? Water bugs of some kind?
I mean, here's the thing. A lot of bugs spawn in stagnant water. Stagnant, untreated water, I should say. So, who knows?
There you go. And the amount of shenaniganery we have in this room is quite a lot. The lockers have monsters, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Don asks for a magnifying glass, and a monster hands one to him from a locker. And Scooby's like, "Wait, what? Wait, you said thanks, Scooby?" Looks behind him.
I didn't do that.
It's a fish monster! It's a fucking fish monster. Because we're in the pool.
I don't know if it's this time or if it's the bit later whenever they do this whole thing again, but with Shaggy instead of Scooby. The lizard monster just kind of like waves at one point, and like the tongue is like doing this weird like thing, and I'm like, ew. First of all, second of all, yeah, ew again. I guess
Hey,
Just
Don
ew.
Adams is probably into that though.
I was. The reason I paused was that I was gonna make that joke, but I was like, I've already said so much.
Oh my goodness.
So it scares Scooby up to the ceiling. The ceiling breaks. He falls on the diving board. The diving board gets eaten through. And Don's like, just as I suspected. Water termites.
So Scooby's in the pool, and we throw, a life preserver, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I call it.
That's what those things are to him, and it sinks immediately, so it doesn't really help him. Scooby is drowning, but, Don and Shaggy don't seem to worry about it, because Don is still going after this one bug, which is a squirt bug. Shaggy's like, why is it called that? As it squirts Don in the face with something.
There's this
Listeners,
thing
you
called
don't
the
see my
bombardier.
face, but
There's this thing called the bombardier beetle that's essentially the skunk of insects.
Oh.
So
No, do not like.
that's what I would assume is happening here.
Probably. Don asks Shaggy for a towel and is handed one by the fish monster. And so Shaggy's scared just like Scooby was, jumps into the pool too. And he's like, Mr. Adams, I just remembered something. I can't swim. So they're both drowning in this pool. Why did we retcon them being able to swim just for this?
I don't know.
And it was like a whole bit too. Like
Yeah.
Shaggy's like trying to tell him that he can't swim, but like Don's too busy like explaining something. Like, oh, this random bug. We need to do this with this random bug. And Shaggy's like, I can't swim, bitch. Like, get me out.
Like, I'm dying here.
And
It's
Charlie-
the meme. It's that literal meme of like living my best life and like somebody in the background. That person is drowning. It's like, it's not about him.
It's not about them.
That's what this
Now,
is.
Charlie, if I had a nickel for every time in the new Scooby-Doo movies a guest pulled an inflatable animal out of their pocket and blew it up, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that's happened twice
in a row. This time I think it's an inflatable, what is it, like a bear or something?
I thought it was a giraffe.
Maybe. It's an
It looked like a dinosaur to me. I really don't know what it was.
It's an
some weird
animal.
It has 4
It's an
appendages and a head. Last time it was a duck. It was just a giant duck. So Scooby and Shaggy fight over it till it pops and they get out of the freaking pool. And Shaggy ends up in a locker. Oh, wait, sorry. It pops because the fish monster goes underneath them and pops it. Very specifically. So
Yeah.
that happens, and Shaggy's like, the lockers have monsters! And Don's like, no, they don't! Opens the locker. That's a terrifying monster right there. And it ends up being Fred in the Exterminator outfit, but like, the 3 of them don't know that, so they run the fuck away before it's revealed.
I would.
So the 3 of them are gone as the smart gang has entered this room wearing their protective gear. Like, wait, why are they running? What's going on? We found a secret passage.
I feel like the older Scooby-Doo cartoons have a tendency to do that, where it's like off screen, some of our characters find a secret passageway that leads them back to everyone else, and they're like, oh my god, look at this secret passage, oh my goodness, this must explain everything.
Yeah.
This is how
obviously.
the monster's getting everywhere.
Whoa, wild. So, our scared gang has run off to the movie theater room, which I'm jealous. I would love one of those in my home.
I would also love...
Me
Actually,
too.
my aunt and uncle growing up, that was what their basement looked like, except instead of like theater seating, it was just like a big couch.
Hell
But they had a projector that they would just project onto the wall.
I would do that. That
That's
sounds awesome.
amazing.
And so Don uses this time to show them the enemy. He does some shadow puppetry of a bunch of different bugs. Here's the creeping carpet moth, the female chinch bug, the bed bug for king-size beds. And then, oh no, what is this? It looks like a man, a really buff man, and it's Fred. He came up behind the projector somehow, still wearing the outfit. And Shaggy's like, "Can you stop scaring people by wearing that, please? Thank you. I'm not into it."
Please don't wear it later. Thanks.
No gimp suits here.
This is not Shaggy's kink. Confirmed. So we've all met up. We've learned some shit about this house it's haunted. It's very haunted. All of our tanks are gone. People are scaring us. And so we have a giant debate about this. Because Fred and Velma are like, no, it's not haunted. Daphne, Shaggy, and Scooby are like, it's haunted. Don is just like trying to digest this, but he also doesn't think it's haunted.
He's like, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. And my good time is getting on all fours and exterminating some bugs.
That's what he likes to do, man.
Don Adams is a monster fucker, confirmed.
Yep. And that's when the monster enters the room. They're voting, and, it would have been a tie, but a fourth hand comes up when they're voting whether or not the house is haunted. And I think it's the Wolfman who starts doing shadow puppets on the wall, too. So they all run the fuck away.
Scooby fucking backflips over a row of seats into the popcorn machine and just starts spraying popcorn everywhere.
I love popcorn, but not this much.
Me too, Velma. Me too.
I love it that much.
You want it to rain on you?
Just have your mouth open. Go like, ah.
Okay, but that's so much popcorn that's gonna end up on the floor.
Listen, when my husband eats popcorn is all over the place on the floor. So when this happened, I was like, you know what? This is not on
Frank's
like my real life. Yeah, that's true. He's not that bad.
So they exit the room, and there's a bunch of bats all over the place. Don tries to like threaten one of the bats with his card, and it rips it up. Amazing. Shenaniganery.
Yes.
Very indeed.
And hey, look, we're on an elevator now. We have run to the elevator. We don't know where we're going because it just keeps, like, is it going up? Is it going down? I don't understand.
I don't think the elevator knows.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We go back to the butler for a second, who sees what happened to the movie theater room. It's full of popcorn all over the place. And the fish monster guy is, like, on the screen laughing with him. I don't know what this means.
They're just like creepily chuckling to each other. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. We catch up with the gang. The elevator has put them up with a bunch of Chumley's old props and their equipment's in there.
Which, pretty cool. I would be playing with all the costumes and props, personally.
Oh, yeah. And we get some shenanigans here, because there's, like, an invisible elevator attendant who's, like, going up.
Going out!
And then an invisible, like, couple who's, like, walking arm in arm. And...
like, okay.
No explanation for any of this shit.
Yeah, Shaggy passes out, and Scooby gets, like...
I call it a dolly.
There you go.
I know what you
I forgot words.
Mm-hmm.
He grabs a dolly so he can just, move Shaggy away from those ghosts. To stay with the rest of the gang, who is finding out the tanks are all empty. So Don's like, well, if the tanks are empty, I guess I'm just gonna have to fight every bug personally, because he has a black belt,
Charlie, you have a black belt. Would you be able to karate chop every bug?
I wouldn't want to, personally, but I don't think I'd be able to.
I didn't think you'd be able to either.
I think I'd probably just grab a shoe.
Not with that attitude.
I think the answer is just grab a shoe.
Probably.
Grab a shoe.
It would work better. So Don is trying to, like, karate chop a bunch of, like, coats on hangers. And one of these coats grabs him and throws him in a trunk. And then that trunk is floating. What the fuck is happening?
This is the part of the episode where the shenanigans go exponentially upward.
It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, Shaggy and Scooby back up, and Shaggy, like, falls into another trunk on wheels.
There's too much happening at once. I can't.
There's so much going on.
So he's trying to get out of there on this trunk, while the other trunk that's just floating, we're trying to figure out why that's happening. Scooby is, like, running from both of these things. And he ends up on the, like, hanger cart thing that moves the floating trunk away from whatever was carrying it, and we find out it was being carried by trained bats.
Like 10 of them.
This
Which,
is the
like,
only explanation we get in this entire episode
yeah,
for something.
I don't know.
All the bats in this house apparently are just trained to do things.
Good
maybe.
for them, I guess.
Well, I guess he had to find some way in order to scare people.
Sure.
You know, so that he could save his house.
And maybe everything that's happened so far has been a bunch of bats. Maybe the bats were in the costumes.
It was the bats all along.
Maybe it's the bats were the friends we made along the way.
Indeed. But we're trying to get the smart gang's trying to get Don out of the chest, and Daffy's like, "Oh, let's use this old key." It tickles him somehow.
And then Velma's just like, let's just use a hairpin. It works better. And he gets out of there. And he's fallen into, like, a Wolfman mask.
Don Adams is a furry, confirmed.
We knew this.
Yeah, it scares Scooby, who ended up in, like, a top hat and a cape.
And he gets on top of the trunk that Shaggy was in. They go down another secret passageway, which I guess is like a laundry chute or something. And they end up in this basement with Otto the Butler and the real Wolfman.
But it's a different design of the Wolfman. Like, there's so many designs of the same Wolfman in this one episode. And we keep reusing character models for other things. It's hilarious to me. And apparently this is Mr. Chumley, as the butler keeps calling him. So, they're filming something. And they think that, like, this trunk is coming because of the trained bats, like, with more, you know, supplies and stuff for this movie that they're filming, as they say. It's a movie so that he can have a comeback and pay off his debts.
Sir.
I think a movie would
Nicolas
just get you
Cage
into more
approach you're
depth.
taking, my dude.
I was gonna say, there's supposed to be some wind blowing.
This is some Beyonce level wind over here that he
I
has
know.
going on. It's like, all right, like, I didn't know Beyonce was starring in your film.
Yeah, he's just like, I need a hurricane of wind. And this is when Shaggy and Scooby come into play, because Shaggy is also a furry, confirmed. He's in, like, a cat mask.
Yes.
And that's, you know, it's raining cats and dogs, as they say.
Literally.
They did that just for this pun.
They did.
Legitimately.
And now the entire gang is here for the wrap-up of the episode. Who could it be? Who is doing all of this stuff to us? It's Otto, and it's a monster. And oh, it's Lorne Chumley? Wait, which one is his face? He has several faces.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, you know what? You can, if you can do that, go ahead and do it, but that's a lot of masks to be wearing. How are you breathing, sir?
Yeah, it's gotta be so hot and sweaty in there.
He just doesn't feel it anymore.
I guess.
To me, it's like if he was like, I think one of the masks was like a woman, like a redheaded woman. So
Yes.
I like to think of it as like he put himself in drag, and then he put himself in like drag king getup. So it's like Inception, right? So he's like a man dressed as a woman, dressed as a man, and then just decided to pile on as many wigs and masks as possible. And I'm living for the drama.
Like, there's 3 different people masks underneath the Wolfman mask, and then it's his real face. And, like, Don just keeps, like, going and, like, pulling them all off. Like, nope, remember, he's got a million faces. And then he tries to pull off his actual face. It's like, oh, oops, sorry, sir. So there he is. That's him. He did not want his house to be sold because he wants to make a comeback and pay off his debts.
This man's gotta be in his mid-70s. Like, people this old should not be acting unless they are getting paid handsomely. Like Harrison Ford, right? The man's, like, 83 and will not stop acting. Let him retire, please!
Sometimes they like it.
Harrison Ford does not like acting.
Harrison
Let's be
Ford just
clear.
wants to fly his planes and go on, nice vacations with his wife. He does not want to act anymore.
He does not, but somehow he keeps getting into contracts. He's in the recent Marvel film for Captain America. He's like
Yeah.
fucking Red Hulk. Like,
Yep.
why is it? Why?
Is
Because
he in
Disney.
debt too?
because Disney money. Maybe
Fair
maybe he
enough.
just has a Disney contract or a Disney debt or something secretly, so he
I
just has
don't
to.
know. Yeah, they got this man out of retirement for Star Wars, for Marvel, for what's the other one? Indiana Jones. Like,
It's Disney.
Yep.
yeah.
That's what it is. So the gang is like, "Huh, you just want to keep your house. Like that's not a bad thing." And so he's like, "Well, I need some help, you know." So they're going to help him make the movie while Don finishes exterminating because he will not stop. It's what he wants to do with his life.
God.
Is
He will
exterminate.
never stop.
Just doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah. And in the last scene, he thinks there's a termite in the wig. Is this wig made of wood?
No.
I think everything was made of wood in the 70s, clearly. And that's
Okay.
a secret.
Here's the thing. Termites don't just eat wood. They will also eat paper,
Okay.
fabric,
Okay.
insulation, cardboard, and animal poop.
Are any of those things in a car, though?
Yeah.
No. Well, fabric's in a car, but not the engine.
Right.
So we still don't have an explanation for the inciting incident of the episode.
No, we don't.
But that at least covers this part.
Yes.
And then the termite may have jumped onto Scooby, so the episode ends with Don checking to see if it's on Scooby and tickling him.
Oh boy.
That's it. That's we did it. That's an episode of Scooby-Doo.
It is
Oh
one
my
of the
God.
episodes of Scooby-Doo of all time. I will say that.
That it really is. I like it. But Ethan, what time is it?
It's terror time again.
Let's do some trivia, my friends. Alright, bring up the Scooby-Doo wikis. Several of Lorne Chumley's disguises bear a strong resemblance to previous villains, including the Wolfman from A Gaggle of Galloping Ghosts, and Swampy Pete from The Ghostly Creep from the Deep.
The first Academy Awards Oscar ceremony was held May 16, 1929, right at the end of the silent era. While Charlie Chaplin still produced his movies as silent films until 1936, most other studios at the time started producing films with sound, sold to the audience at the time as talkies or talking films. If Strangers Beware had won a bunch of Oscars in the Scooby canon, it probably would have come out between 1928 and 1930.
If. That's a big if.
Yeah, that is a big if. The episode seems heavily based on The Secret of Terror Castle, a juvenile detective novel by Robert Arthur Jr., the first in the 3 Investigators series. I'm not familiar with that.
Me neither.
Me either. The gang drives by the homes of actors Gregory Grant and Steve McKing, whose names are spoofs of Hollywood stars Gregory Peck, Cary Grant, and Steve McQueen.
Lorne Chumley is a parody of silent film star Lon Chaney.
Otto the Exterminator. What?
That's just like the title of the page.
Oh,
yeah, it's
okay.
just like Otto, the character in this episode.
Got it. Okay. I was like, that's weird. He wasn't the Exterminator. Don Adams was. Otto is a parody of silent film actor Erich von Stroheim.
Oh, that's why he's got the accent.
Yeah. Yeah. He
also looks like the
Austrian
doctor from
actor.
Animaniacs.
Oh, maybe he's a parody of him too.
Probably.
Maybe. Don Adams shares the speech patterns of Agent Maxwell Smart, a character Don Adams portrayed in the television series Get Smart, and one of his most well-known roles. Some of the catchphrases Adams used in Get Smart are also referenced in this episode, including the iconic "Would you believe?"
During his unmasking, one of Lorne Chumley's masks resembles William Hanna.
So cool.
In Sandy Duncan's Jekyll and Hyde, the Scooby-Doo gang encounters a similar story theme with silent film actor Delia Z. Fairchild.
Yeah, we did have a similar plot line in that episode where the guy was like,
That we
"No, I
did.
don't want this film set to close down. I live here." For some
This
reason
little
he was just
gremlin man.
freeloading at the set. But you know what? At
Alright.
least they didn't actually kidnap anyone in this episode.
Yeah,
Like
that's
like
true.
they did some weird creepy shit, but that episode that man was like kidnapping somebody
Yeah.
for a while. So, not fun times, especially for Daphne. All right, Ethan, what is our shenanigan count for the episode?
This is probably one of the most mid episodes we've done so far, but it has a shenanigan count of 34.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of shenanigans to be had.
Josh, our record is 54.
Oh, yeah, damn. All right.
And our lowest was 11, so...
Was that the Jerry Reed episode?
That was the
Actually,
Sonny and
no.
Cher episode.
Oh,
Like,
interesting.
They just like weren't as cartoonish in that episode.
Yeah.
They were just there. Cher was flipping her
It's
hair.
particularly with musicians we've noticed where they're not as cartoony.
Yeah, I prefer the episodes with the comedians.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so my friends, whose side are we on in this episode?
I'm on Don Adams' side. He's just trying to do his job and have a little fun on the side.
I mean, I feel like I'm on Lauren Chumley's side. He just wants to make movies again, you know? I mean, like, I'm not on Don Adams' side. He also just wants to do his job. They both just want to do what they love.
I'm on Shaggy and Scooby's side from the jump of not going into this house.
That's so valid, though. God, what do I put down?
The most divisive we've ever been in an episode.
All right.
I feel like the answer is that we have no correct answer for this episode.
I'll just put some question marks.
Question marks, yes.
Listener, whose side are you on? Are you on the side of Shaggy and Scooby of do not enter the horror house? Are you on the side of Lauren Chumley, who just wants to live in his home and also wants to continue to make movies because he likes it? Or are you really passionate about bugs and killing them like Don Adams?
Listen, I'm more here for Don Adams, not necessarily just doing his job, but also trying to get some action, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's true. You know?
That would be a wild search history.
It would be.
All right, my friends. Lastly, what are we rating this out of 5 Scooby snacks? How did we like this episode?
I'm just gonna come out and say 2.5. It was not my favorite.
I'm gonna be controversial and say 1.5. Listen, I like Scooby-Doo, so I'm always going to be here for it. However, I do not think this needed to be a 45-minute episode.
Oh, I definitely agree with that.
That is honestly like most of the episodes in this series, is that they really did not need to be like movie length episodes, but they decided to.
But they are anyway.
This is the longest Scooby-Doo episodes ever get to be, is this series.
Unless it's a full-on actual movie.
Yeah. So I'm glad that they don't ever continue with this format because it's too much.
Yeah.
But I
Charlie,
love this episode.
Okay.
I do think it's not really a mystery, so it takes some points away, but I'm gonna give it a 3.5 because I enjoy so many of the one-liners in this one.
Okay.
I have a question. I don't really remember because I haven't watched these in a very long time. Are there actual mysteries happening and they find clues and like they explain it all at the end for the rest of these?
Some of them, it's not very consistent.
It's about 50-50, honestly.
Okay. Because like we said already, this one does not have a very good through line of like, oh, look, I found this key in this room. I wonder what it goes to. Oh, it's to this chest. Oh, let me open it. Like Daphne just has a random key at one point that works in the chest. So I was just like, okay, well, we're not finding clues, I guess, in this episode.
Yeah, it's a toss up. Like the last episode with Tim Conway, it was like a mystery of like, oh, who's trying to like scare people away from this thing? What's going on here? The episode with Jeannie was really not a mystery necessarily.
It was just
It was just like,
shenanigans.
it was a lot of shenanigans. It was a lot of weird magic things happening. And another one that I did really like, but also, God, it was really racist, was the Haunted Showboat with Josie and the Pussycats.
It
Like,
was.
it was an interesting mystery. It was just, they decided Tom Sawyer is the theme for the episode today.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a good look.
Not great. Not great.
Yeah, so some of them are better than other ones. One of our favorite ones, or two of our favorites for this series, are the Laurel and Hardy one and the Jonathan Winters one. Those two are pretty much like, you know, mysteries with like clues and shit.
Okay.
So and they're both like very comedic as well. So they let the
Yes.
guest stars be fun.
Love it.
So that's it for us today. Josh, do you want to remind the people who you are and what you do on the internet, where they can find you?
Of course. Well, thank you so much for having me, as always. My name is Josh. You can find me on the Super Scary podcast. I am technically on break at the moment, and I think I will still be by the time this comes out, but I'll be coming back late March-ish with new episodes. I cover horror movies and, you know, horror sci-fi-esque. So if you like that type of stuff, come over and check me out. We are very gay over there, so I mean, if you like the energy I gave, the very chaotic energy I gave in my commentary about Dawn Adams today, you can find that times 1,000 on my podcast. You're welcome.
I was also on an episode covering one Scooby-Doo movie that scared me as a small child that also doesn't have a whole lot of plot. But
yeah, that one did not have a plot. But you can check out me and Charlie covering Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers, which I think was it last year?
I think it was last year or something.
Might have been a year and a half at this point. It's been so long. Some of them
It
kind
was
of
a minute ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute, but yeah, go check that out. Check out my recent episodes. And you can find me on Super Scary Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. I might be joining Blue Sky, maybe, since it's Twitter for people who don't like Elon.
Yeah.
I'm over there. Charlie's over there. I use a lot more than Charlie does. I have a good time.
Perfect.
I only just recently put a banner on my Blue Sky.
Baby steps. We're all gonna learn together.
Most of what I do is like Ethan's things and repost them. So
this is true. Like I appreciate that, but there's so much more out there, Charlie. There's so much more.
Fine. It's fine. Listen, I'm just your biggest fan. I think
it's
that's
a safe space, okay?
Charlie, thank you.
I love my friends. That's all that matters.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Josh. We will be sure to have you back for a hopefully better episode that has a better mystery.
Yes.
In the future. But for now, y'all, we're gonna go split up and look for clues for our next mystery. Bye!
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You can follow this podcast socials at Mysteries in the Machine Pod on Instagram. You can send a message to our email, mysteriesinthamachinepod@gmail.com. Be sure to give us a rating, a review, or let your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws.
You can find me, Ethan, on Instagram and Threads at ethan.t.hewlin. Our music was written and produced by Jason Hilton. You can find him at Negative Selections on Instagram.
I saw a doggy.
Oh, doggy. I wonder if the doggo had to go out.
It is unclear.
Okay, I am back.
Hello. We missed you.